If you've ever completed a project that you thought was going to be awesome only to realize, hey, did I make any money on this? Where's the money? I don't see it in my bank account. This video is for you. Jumping right in. Beauty. This is a great one. I wish I could give a shout out to who mentioned this topic to me. Can't remember. I was talking to someone though, and they mentioned like, if you could do a video or some sort of giveaway that would show contractors, why they weren't making money on a project, that would be the best topic ever. Kudos to you. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today. I've had it happen to me. I know it's probably happened to you, hence you're watching the video. Is, so often we'll get into a project, we'll start the project, the estimate looks good. It's like, oh, we're gonna make, a ton of money on this project. Only like to finish the project, it took longer than expected, and for some reason you didn't make enough money on it or much money. And I'm going to be getting into the 5 ways to change that, plus reasons why that happened. So make sure you stick around to the end. Plus the 5th one is a doozy. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you stay here for the 5th one. And we're moving on to number 1. So a lack of quality leads. Quality leads are probably the most important thing as far as making sure you're making money on projects. And there's a few reasons for that. Notice I mentioned quality and not quantity. Yes, you want lots of leads, but the quality of your leads is going to dictate how profitable you are on a project, because a good quality lead that's really aligned with you as a contractor that wants your service and is kind of your ideal client, they're going to be willing to spend a little more. Plus, you're going to be able to close them at a higher rate because they're just aligned with what you do and they really see kind of the need for what you do. So often we're too focused on marketing to the masses and not to a specific person who is going to be a quality lead. So if you can get quality leads, that is going to help you with your projects and set you up for success, which moves me on to my point number 2. Just before I do that, make sure to give this video a big likes up. So just smash that thumbs up button. Appreciate you for that. You're awesome. All right, number 2, shortcut estimates. So you don't want to cut corners when you're building. You shouldn't be cutting corners when you're estimating. And I know it's so easy because you've got a million and one things to do and you probably got too many estimates to do, or you just don't like doing them like a lot of people. Evenings, weekends, trying to fit them in around all the other things. So winging costs definitely will get you in hot water and are a good way to forget things, to just be off on the actual estimating accuracy. And that's going to cost you money later on, as well as missing items. So take that extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes, take that little bit of extra time to review your estimate. Put a little bit of thought into it. I always like to go through kind of a mental video picture of like the project of like, okay, so we show up on site, we pull out our tools, we have to set up this. So just doing like a mental run through of like, what's that person actually going to be doing? Or what's that person, like, what's the project manager actually going to be managing here? To really like understand if anything's been missed. Like templates in the estimating system, like having that in place is huge, but just not shortcutting the estimating process, because an extra 20 to 30 minutes to review an estimate or put a little extra thought into it can make a huge difference and save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars possibly in things that got forgotten, or maybe you notice you priced something too low, whatever it may be. So that's huge to make sure you're making money on your projects, not getting to the end and realizing you didn't make any. Number 3, so we're moving on here. Number 3, financially muddy. So if your financials are muddy, then you've just created the environment for chaos and pretty much like the ability to lose money. If you have proper job costing in place and tracking for time, you are going to be in a much better place, and you're going to know ahead of time before you lose money when things are going over. So if you got proper job tracking in place, let's say your framing crew's in there and they're framing, you allocated maybe $15,000 to framing whatever it is, this basement or something like that, and you realize my guys have been there for like 4 weeks now. Not sure what's going on, but we've already run through our whole budget and we're in a really tight spot here. I should get on site and make sure that, we can get this thing finished and buttoned up so we're not losing money on the back end. So things like that, if you don't have job costing in place, it's so easy for things to slip. It's just like, oh, they're just going to take a couple more days, or, oh, that thing just took a little extra longer or whatever. So it also doesn't enable you to go back. So like, let's say you've just finished a project, your framing went over, you're doing another similar project. It's like, okay, I need to put in more money for this because the previous budget that I estimated for was not enough. So this one I need to bump it up, right? So it gives you that data-driven ability to make adjustments to your estimates and to your production process to make sure you are making money and everything is accounted for during the whole process. So does that make sense? That was number 3 there. Very important. Like I said, wait around for number 5. It's going to be a doozy. Moving on to number 4 here. So the 4th one, the first ones were all kind of in the preliminaries or, financial side. This one is leadership. So leadership leadership is huge, and a lack of leadership just it builds chaos, it builds disorganization. It's a good way to waste a lot of time on site with guys that don't know what they're doing or not being effective, that don't have someone there to kind of coach and support and help them. And you want to make sure that there's different levels of leadership and you're enabling leadership within your organization. You should be training on this as well, if nothing more than just coaching in person, but also have some sort of documentation and some training programs. So when you do appoint a foreman or a project manager or a general manager, they have a base level of leadership skills that they can lead a team to success and make sure that you are also providing them with the tools they need, like job costing, like budgeting with maybe the hours allocated, different things like that on site. So, and it all starts with you, right? Your leadership from the top, the figurehead of your organization, of your company. Everything trickles down from there. So often we over evaluate our leadership abilities, and this is something that I've progressed throughout my career. But when I look back at my earlier successes and failures, a lot of it stemmed from my ability to be a leader, to do leadership. And it's more than just like kind of helping people or being nice or like telling guys, let's go get it. There's a lot that goes into it as far as people really trusting you and effectively communicating them and getting everyone behind on a common goal. So leadership is huge, and it's really the efficiency of your entire production process, and to make sure that what you've estimated and budgeted for, that is actually getting produced on site, that goals are being met and budgets are being followed. So like I said, number 5 here, we've got a big one here. 5 is free time. What do I mean by that? Your free time, my free time, what's going on here? So free time is, you should be charging for your time. Stop giving away your time to everybody. Not telling you not to be, personal or sociable, but you are probably not charging for your time enough, and it's costing you, it's costing your business. So free estimating is a huge one. I know the jury's maybe still out on that. Should we do free? Should we get paid for it? What's going to happen with that? Lots of things estimating is one of them. Project management is another one. So if you are basing your involvement in a project and your income from a project purely off your margin, your overhead and markup or something like that, there's too much flexibility there, and you are going to set yourself up for, financial difficulties or the muddy waters again that I mentioned earlier, because you should be allocating money for a project for your involvement. So that's calling the clients, that's discussing the schedule, that's doing selections, that's doing meetings with the crews, coordinating sub trades, collecting materials, whatever it is that you do to facilitate somebody else's project, your client's project, you should be getting paid for, and it should be on your estimate as a project management charge. So if it takes you, let's say, 80 hours of your physical time to manage a project, you should have 80 hours times whatever you feel is an hourly rate. Generally it's going to be anywhere from 80, 100 to 150 plus, dollars an hour. That needs to be on an estimate, because later, if you ever want to get a project manager in there to take over for you, you need to have a budget for them that you're going to be paying them, and your profit and your markup needs to be on top of that. Because if you're just giving your time away for free because you think I'll just make money off the markup, that markup is for your overhead and it's for your profit, and that's what it should be for. It should not be for your specific time managing projects or dealing with clients, anything to do with the client's reason for hiring you. Does that make sense? As always, check out the links in the description below. Really check them out. Click the links. There's a ton of great resources in there. We've got a free masterclass all about how to systematize your business, so make sure you check that out. And as always, got new videos coming out weekly to help you grow your contracting business.